How am I going to articulate this? How am I going to articulate this? How you let outside factors, outside influences just dictate something so sacred, something so essential, yeah? So very individual, yes? Yes, I mean, that's a very individual thing. I would say personal, but it's not gotta be all extra serious and crucial like that. It is, in fact, and definitely individual, though. As in singular to every particular person, every different, person, identity, entity. Right? It's like, you gotta be able to function, from a particular frequency, from a ideal sort of stationary foundation vibe, okay? It's called adult, okay? It's called being grown, okay? Yes, you see a woman, yes, any woman can be had, my nigga. Any woman, cuz. Just like any man can be had. In fact, it's about the same. Would you imagine that? I mean, you look around, right? You look around, yes, and you see the provocation, yes. I won't say it's illicit. I won't say it's explicit. I'll say, though, that it is extremely suggestive. No. You look around, you see that. Why would you imagine that? Imagine that any given girl, right, that the standard female-ian, yes, would be so open and inclined and comfortable and convinced that somebody is going to like what she has to offer. And not just somebody, but enough somebodies. For some of these girls, being that they are competing with each other, and one out of the few or a few out of all of them might fall in the lower ranks, yes? A couple people is enough. But to be honest, and given the right particular circumstance, yes, as far as exposure, right? Because whoever's attention she's going to be able to catch, because that's what these platforms are in place for. Not everybody has her profile, right? She's not like a famous person. And even if she does happen to be famous, there's many people of many walks of life with assorted interests, yes. So, you're not going to get every eligible and worthy man, attainable man, even to, catch every man's attention, right? Eligible man, right? That you would consider compatible with you, or even an asset to a certain extent, right? Because not every man, just like not every woman, ranks the same when it comes to comparison, or even just in general, right? As far as just like individually, like, because you have your own idea of yourself, right? Aside from your image and your identity, you have an idea, right? You see you at a particular state, or in a particular stage, in a particular state in your life, that you would be able to say you're most comfortable, right? You're most proud. You feel the fullest achieved, right? For them, generally speaking, in this, dronage sort of stasis or vibe, right? Level. That's going to be whatever amount of money for the basic person. And it doesn't really expand very much veneer, because for the most part, most people aren't even at that level yet, to where they haven't been able to where they have been able to earn whatever amount of money they could say is enough, right? Or they haven't grown to a point in their life, individually, male or female, where it's enough, whatever it is. It could be material, it can be internal, it can be both, it could be neither. It could be neither. But even when they get to that point, what does the outward show? Like, you know what I mean? What is their display, their presentation? And who is it to at that point? Well, I mean, when you get to feeling yourself and you're able to adulterate or mature as a grown-ass individual, ideal person, you're in a better position to kind of not be so concerned to a certain extent. Or the flip, or it can be reversed. Now you kind of more open to not have to focus so much on getting to where you'd like to be. Like me, myself. I'm a mixture of both, to be honest, because I keep an open mind. I try to keep an open mind, right? I try to keep a slot for what God got. You know what I'm talking about? Because we can pray for whatever we want, or we can pray for whatever God wants. Okay? We can have an idea. We can think we know what's best for us, or we can manage well. You know what I mean? We can piece it together successfully, which there's not necessarily anything so wrong with that. But that's not the only method. I won't say that it's the best or worst method, but it's proven a degree of successful or effective, universally speaking, as far as the world state, okay, and stage for humanity as a people, not just persons, right? Which is why we have to where, like I was just speaking on, anybody can be anybody, basically, right? Nobody's special to anyone else past their exposure to whoever else from a different angle, right? And that's what I'm saying. Even when I say, like, I try to keep an open mind, because see, how you connect with one person may compare or may relate, and you could possibly even equate it with how you relate to another person. But then you can also find, you know, some specialties, basically, specialities that you share that is unlike anything else, right? The differences, right? The differences. And when I say differences, I'm not saying necessarily even like conflicts or problems or whatever. I mean like the differences. Like that song Differences by Genuine. My whole life has changed since you came in. I knew back then you were a special one. I'm so in love, so deep in love. My whole life, oh yes indeed. Who? That nigga Genuine. That song is called Differences. You know, like Genuine, right? When he first dropped, you know what I mean? He had like a whole project. The album was full of bangers, you know what I mean? Like the whole shit was just fire. Just it was thumping. The whole, like it was produced by Timbo. I don't know how much Timbo produced The Life by Genuine, which was his third major album, right? That was like his, not sophomore, right? Because you got the freshman and then you got the sophomore. That was the senior, because he actually had after The Life, he had the senior, which was his senior album, right? Because you got freshman and you got a sophomore, you got right? Because he had his second album was called The Bachelor. No, it's for the first album was called The Bachelor, The second album was The Bachelor, low-key, haha. Ironically enough, cause first album was called The Bachelor. And that's what I'm talking about, really, like, cause, I mean, what I was thinking to myself was like, basically, like, how that exchange, right? That very connection in itself. That openness, yes. That open-mindedness, that sense of curiosity between people has been hijacked, is being hijacked, is being exploited and commercialized. Right? It's been commercialized to where it's like it's got the basic person boggled. You know what I mean? Like really kind of like scatterbrained, like, you know, like a person is disoriented. But back to genuine real quickly. And then because what I'm saying really is like, and I don't want to speak about it as only sexual, but breathing is a part of life. Ain't nothing but man and woman on earth, okay? Just like you must eat or you're not gonna live until you do something advanced than eating, then you might survive if you don't eat. But on the base level, that foundation vibe, snack, my nigga. Get your snack on, cuz, until you feel me? Until you grow to a point, an ideal point, right? That is enough to where you feel most like yourself. Because even if you have made a little bit of progress, right? Like you live your whole life abused, right? And get fucking stranded and abandoned, right? Disoriented, basically, and limited, you know what I mean? Restricted, basically. You feel me? From exposure to enrichment or development or even just truth and positivity, which is the case for some people, right? Because they really strong like that, right? And it just take a little drop of just water for them to be straight for the rest of their life. If anybody ever says anything nice to them, then they can live the rest of their life at least that much happier. And that will be enough for them, right? But if something switched within them, right? And they saw that they could magnetize that energy, then it would be no limit for that person. And what's cool about that type of person, for the most part, who will go through that and not start doing it to other people, which will make it to where they're the most content, is the word. But when I say content, I'm not speaking of just complacency. Because you can be compliant and complacent, and then you can be content. Content has an element and energy and vibration frequency of gratitude. And also what I was just about to get at is what this person would have to be is humility. And selflessness. Like, they already don't think much of themselves anyway, so it's either easier or that much more disorientating for them to be just that much more selfless, right? Now, it's a delicate sort of dichotomy there. You know what I mean? That's the two sides of it. And even when it's on the positive side, one switch can happen, like one flip can happen, because I said a switch with them, but then it can be flipped on them too. Or they can flip it on themselves. Something drastic can happen, something unexpected, something abnormal can happen, right? Because people be in their patterns, people be in their rhythms. You know what I mean? Time has already spread out enough now to where you can live 7 lifetimes and still be catching your second wind of life that is all life. You feel me? Or you can even live to be a teenager and reverse or flip generational life energy. It's all about those connections to be completely upfront with you. I don't know what it is that makes whatever people different. But I do know that eye contact is very key. Eye contact in itself is the entire, is eternity, is infinity, is heaven, is hell, is the universe, right? It's every dimension. Eye contact in itself, right? And that's why they would put a screen between your eyes and another person's eyes. Otherwise, it wouldn't make no sense for you to be that's what I'm saying. Like, it's been hijacked. It's so passe already anyway. Like, that's supposed to just be automatic. We supposed to be grown enough. The grown-ups are supposed to be grown enough to say, you know what, that's kind of tacky. That's too cheap of a method. That's too cheap of an application of exposure. We can do way better than that. But the adults are not mature enough. They haven't grown to an ideal state to where, not all of them have grown to an ideal state, back to what I was saying, of maturity, whether it be humility or responsibility or acceptability or accountability. When I say a maturity, I'm saying maturation and adulteration, development to a point of respectable completion. Not to where they're finished or done, but at least stable. Whatever that means for whatever other people. For the most part, across the spectrum, board. For some, even more so than it's been completed and then completed again through cycles of completion. But even those people can only do so much until more people have reached that point at least once, that are already necessarily involved or that will become involved in the decision making of what is accessible and the program system for those that are not making it available or acceptable for whoever else, for whatever reason. Right? So, I mean, you got these people, like I said, I'm thinking of the homegirl, Tanisha, right? Her name Tanisha. She dark-skinned, right? She's skinny, right? And she not the prettiest girl, right? But she know how to fight though, you know. But she don't be walking around beating her. She used to be a bully. She could be a bully if she want to, but she can also be whatever she want to be. She chilling. She ain't worried about too much of that. She from Tennessee. No, she's not from Tennessee. She's one of them unknown states. Nobody knows her. You know what I mean? Her life is a blip. You know, she's not necessarily ever gonna do anything of significant attention or impact globally, except for being born, which that's enough. Just to be born is enough. And it ripples into waves that you don't see, that you may not see. And the thing about fame is it's basically you are able to see the waves. But the waves are still there whether whoever else know about them or not is the part. And deep inside, she knows that, and that's got her subconsciously content. It's not even that she realizes that she knows it, but if she were to think about it, then she hasn't already accepted the opposite. Right? If she were to think about it, then she would have to admit that she's fine with whatever, what she decides, because she's determined to decide. Right? And that can be emphasized cracked open and built up, right? Empowered to push her to limits to where she makes more of a tangible impact, right? A deserving impact that all of us deserve to have a balanced impact, at least in our, our initial environment. Right? They say, grow where you're planted, or bloom where you're planted at, right? That's the hope. That's the point, right? What the fuck is? I don't even know you or where you at, but I'm able to look at you, even though I ain't never even talked to you before. And there ain't nothing wrong with that, but it's like, where does that go? You know what I mean? Unless I got money to fly you somewhere, you got money to fly me somewhere, or we both making moves like that to where we can do whatever comes up that would be best to do together. Because first of all, you're gonna come with a whole nother perspective. You know what I mean? An abnormal, unexpected, irregular angle, being that we're not in the same place, right? And being that what brought us together was something unexpected anyway. Until it becomes expected. And that's what it shouldn't be, because it's already limited. It's already, like I said, it's too cheap of an application. It's sort of illusionary because it's in a place of advancement, technologically, right? But it's really actually a reversal, because it's like it makes it to where you're even more complacent, even more comfortable, not actually making a tangible impact enough to reach people in the organic way. Right now, if you're doing that already, then this can be an expansive sort of tool, But you gotta be real careful with that. Which you have to be careful with anything. And that's really the whole culprit, is that for the most part, the basic person is nervous and cautious. Nervous. And it makes it to where they're on the defense without realizing it. It's interesting because it's all subsidized. A lot of it is subsidized and categorized already. Like it's already been segregated to where it can only even be contained in whatever area, even within the areas, right? Blossom where you're planted, but your roots gonna need to stretch. For the most part, there's a lot of pruning and it's happening, right? The capacity is being controlled, right? Like you only want your strawberry bush to take up this amount of space because you gotta have space to grow whatever else. And it's not about just the free expression of the strawberry bush. It's about the fact that if you grow strawberries closer together with shallower roots, then you get larger strawberries, more and larger strawberries, and then you have a bigger profit as a grower, as a farmer, right? But I'm not speaking from a farmer's perspective, and I'm not speaking from a profit perspective, even if I were to be speaking from a farmer's perspective. I'm speaking from a natural, beauty perspective. As far as that strawberry seed made it to that soil through whatever happenstance that life brought it, whether it was a bird or it came from a river or something, or whatever, however it happened. However it would have happened naturally would have been something extremely more abstract than just a farmer moving to a particular place that has whatever type land, enough, quote unquote, enough land to just, you know what I mean, plot out whatever sort of agricultural objective. You feel me? Because in that case, like the fact that, you know, all this social media, right? Because you got social media, right? You got the actual media, right? Which includes the entertainment industry, right? Then you have, what is it called? Indoctrination, which has to do with, you know, social engineering, even across the spectrum. Before you even had the media, we had social engineering, which the media is a derivative, is a result of early social engineering or whatever. But it begins with, though, that control, right, of the capacity, those connections to be low. Yeah, so yeah, a seed might just fall there, you know what I mean, off a cliff somewhere. Wind's gonna take it where ain't no telling what the fuck, right? But then you got see, the thing about that is you get one strawberry branch, this mad seeds coming off them strawberries, and them seeds are gonna be a lot more in closer proximity to be spread in that same area, right? And the more they spread in that same area, the more probability, yes, that there is for those seeds to be now sporadically taken in unexpected areas because there's more seeds. That's just the math of it. A seed can be planted in some unexpected place by some sort of type of weird way if there's no seeds. But the more seeds there are, the more creative nature can get, you know. The very land that the strawberries are on might collapse, or there might be a volcanic eruption, right? And it's dispersed the seeds, nigga, miles away, right? And then by the time or the aftermath of that, then the strawberries come back, or they recultivate or whatever, you know what I mean? Revive themselves or whatever the fuck. And then, you got another strawberry patch from the seeds of that same patch in a whole nother county, some type of crazy way, right? But that's just natural, and that's the beauty of the nature, right? And what I'm saying is basically, it may only be 20 different strawberries on a particular patch because the roots are deeper. I don't know if it's shallower or deeper than it needs to be for there to be more strawberries, but that's always dynamic. That's always, you know, elements involved. And you know, it's just up to that strawberry at that point, you know? And what's coded about that is when it grows to the fullest capacity, right? The ideal enough capacity, then it can have shallow areas because the patch is spreading out larger. It's not just in this one little area enough for you to have what you need. It's going where it wants to go. It's going enough places to where it can be in all of the different sorts of places to be able to see what it feels like on what particular season, right? In other words, it grew super deep roots in this particular area, but then the same patches spread out across the whole field, right? So 20 meters from here, you could say it's the same patch, but it's a different plant. And that plant's roots are shallower, and it's more strawberries, but more redder strawberries on that particular plant in this patch across this field, right? And this field only has strawberries, got sunflowers in it, right? Now, what the fuck is the point of these plants? And this field only has strawberries, got sunflowers in it. Life is the point. Life, right? The strawberries see the sunflowers. That's enough, right? The sunflowers, of course, can see each other, but they're all sunflowers, right? And that's fair enough too. If it was only sunflowers there, sunflowers ain't complaining about not being seen. Okay? They grow, they live, they love. Now, say for instance, a person find that patch. That's gonna be a different experience than a farmer working every day in the field. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a different experience. The aroma is gonna be different. The very energy in itself is gonna be different. You know, and however many visitors experience or interact with that particular area is going to determine the outcome of that area at that point, right? You get enough people walking in the same pathway, you're gonna have a road. You're gonna have like a trail. You know, it's gonna distribute the seeds in a different way, or you know, the pollen or whatever. You know, or the vines. You know what I mean? Just differently. It's actually gonna make an impact, right? The very nature in itself is making its own impact, and the impact is impacted by the interactions, which is automatically happening already anyway. But when you pre-itemizing it, basically, you know, when you pre-itemize things and computerize things too, making it towards one thing or the next thing as opposed to both things and neither things and its own thing, then that has its own results, right? And you gotta realize, like, not everything is by coincidence. First of all, there's no such thing as coincidence, but some things have a more elaborate design to them as far as the intended effect. It may seem one way, but that's only leading to what it will be, so that you can say that it was whatever else, or that you can be distracted from it becoming what it is, or what it actually already is, and will eventually be revealed or not, whether you're receptive to it or even understand what it is you're looking at. So what I'm saying is, like, what made me think of this, aside from Genuine's two dope first albums, because Cut first album was dope. I mean, Genuine is a sick artist altogether, but it's like, that's what I mean. Like, his first stuff was really crazy. Like, it made a super impact. It really kind of like was influential. It's extremely like startling. It was unexpected. And so, but once we learned of Genuine, right, then it was hard to impress us. It was hard to impress us after that. You know, and I don't know how the second album came out so fly. Maybe they did that at the same time. Or even if they didn't do it at the same time, the third album, Genuine, was definitely another person. That was after the fame. That was after the exposure was then exploited, right? And it wasn't even just so much only the exposure was exploited, but that impact was then itemized. Yes, even from a personal, just life perspective. Right, that was the name of the album, even was called The Life. You feel me? You gotta pay attention to the little shit, man. You gotta pay attention to the little shit, okay? Like, the third album was called, that got the song The Differences on it, got The Differences on, was called The Life. And that was a fire ass album, but it only has so many just serious, just certain definites on it. You know what I mean? You had Tribute to a Woman, which is one of the illest songs made by Genuine, right? And that's why I think he must have had to. I think he must have had to make the album, because he had that song, and then he had Differences. Differences sound like it was like, okay, trying to match the impact or the energy or just the uniqueness, just the necessariness, right? Because that song, Tribute to a Woman, it's your world, it's in the sun, it's give sun. Don't kiss your love. I know you feel it, scared with everything you know you feel. I'm trying to break you out that mold that once was real. I never spell it, Mountain Dew. It's time for you to grow. It's time for you to live. Yeah, that song hard. It's just talking about how it's hard being a woman and shit like. It's just interesting because it's coming from Genuine, who was the Bachelor. But then the second album was called 100% Genuine, right? But then the third album only had like Differences, which Differences was like, like I like that song. I really, but it's only because you like Genuine. And I was like, okay, well, should we give you that one? And that's why it was hard to kind of like follow up with anything else, because we gave him Differences, right? Tribute to a Woman was like, but that was a whole nother style of Genuine too. He didn't have a lot that was like in the same vein as the first two albums. On that third album, I think he was maybe trying to like change up or something, or just give us a different side, and that's dope. I fuck with Genuine, but I fuck with the early Genuine, because Genuine's nigga first album, The Bachelor. Even aside from Pony, which was a single, I think they made that to be a single. It's probably like they made Differences to be a single, because they had also on the third album In Those Jeans. You know what I mean? Which was a sick ass song. It was it was like, because see, the success of the first two albums was so commercial, was so mainstream, right? Every song was like mainstream. Every song was like a single on the first two albums. So that's why they had to make a song that was similar to Pony, which was like the single, which was like the official single of the first album, which was the Pony, right? That's why they made it In Those Jeans, even though they already had Differences, which was another single. Differences was the second single, if I'm not mistaken, of the third album. But then you also had that little sleeper joint that motherfuckers used to bang, like, it was like an insider joint, which was really the best song to me on the whole album, next to the one about his parents. Then he had a song, a cover of a Michael song on there, which fucked me up, because he had a cover of a Michael song, I think, on the second album too, maybe even on the first song. Nigga does covers on every album, I believe. But yeah, no, the nigga had the other song, you feel me? That joint, Tribute to a Woman, which made the album mandatory, right? But then he had the Senior after that, and I forget no songs off that joint. I don't remember hardly no songs other than remember those joints, what do you call them joints? Not Person to Person, Two Ways. Had that song Two Way on that one, but that might have even been on The Light. But then the first two albums, bro, every one of them songs, bro, is, active, right? Straight radioactive, right? So you had, and the Two Way, which was on The Life, if it wasn't on the third album, which would have been, or which was The Life, but then if it wasn't on the Senior, which would have been a Senior album, which was the fourth album, I think he had that song Two Way on there. That was kind of dope, but it was just another number one fan, right, from the second album. Right, because you had on the first album, nigga, you had Only When You Lonely, definitely had that one on there. Then you had what else you had on there? Shit, So Anxious was on the second one, but it was So Anxious on the first album. Man, too many just dope shits, man. No, but anyway, yeah, Genuine was that sex music, feel me? You put that on, you know what I mean? You throw that shit on, bro. And it just get the mood right, bro. What the fuck happened to that? That's what I'm saying. Them niggas infiltrated, girl. I think they did that shit on purpose, girl. They was about to see where it was going to. What happened, Timbo? What you let happen, Timbaland? Cause I don't know how much Timbaland produced on these third and fourth and last and the following albums, girl. I know them first two albums nigga used to have it straight swinging, homie. And you ain't going wrong. You put that shit on repeat, nigga. The first two albums, bro. And you can play them shits, nigga, for the afternoon, man, into the evening, man. You dig? That low-key Genuine made it to where you had to, like, start making playlists and shit, because it was like, you could just play Genuine, but you didn't have enough songs. Nigga, you feel me? You dig? That was crazy, man, how Timbaland did that, yo. Because, you know what I mean? Genuine was around the era, you know what I mean, with Aaliyah and shit. And Aaliyah had the same effect, but she was a female. But then you had, you know what I mean, you had Genuine come out. You did what I'm saying with the whole, like, you feel me, serenade type, you did what I mean? Energy type, you know, just on that type mode, just like chill music type, between type, intimate, like, not even so intimate, but just, you know, individual type. Yeah, man, came out with that, and he was the masculine. But then cause they had a couple songs together, they were part of the same camp or whatever. I think they might even came from the same area, Midwest or whatever. Just like Tanisha, but then you had, of course, you had Mr., right? Which that's where Bobby Valentino used to sing with. They had that song, Blackberry Molasses. They didn't really do too much of that, right? But then Bobby Valentino came out with a couple albums, a couple of first albums. And yeah, man, you had, of course, but that's around the time 112 had popped, but 112 popped after the group Playa, right? Playa was fire, but then a lot of them just start writing for other artists because they had that just funk, you feel me? That smooth funk, though. It was like an evolution, and it just got completely atomized from there. It's like, it's cool how it break down when you really go, like, when you kind of like dissect it and you analyze it, right? Because, I mean, not even to mention, like, Missy was like in the mix. And then you had, of course, Aaliyah, Missy. Then you had Little Kim. But that was like a whole nother side of it. These are just the people from this time, but it was like their content had a particular impact. You feel me? Had a particular effect that was not controlled. It was uncontrollable. You feel me? Because it was just that organic. You feel me? It was like they got a taste of whatever sort of difference, right? Because they would have been content just fucking vibing. And so what it is, they utilized and emphasized that magnetism, like I was saying, a timid person could do. Or they can just allow themselves to be rotten, you know, from the inside out and become bitter or self-sabotaging. Right, because it's like, you see people and it's like, you know, they don't want to ask for too much, you know, but they got a lot to give though. Right? And if they are not in the mix, then what are they going to do with all of that? Well, they're just going to live in love and love themselves more so than if they have to, but they shouldn't have to do that. Why? Because they surrounded by people anyway looking in another direction at what they're not even naturally intended to interact with. The way that they should be turned the other way, interacting with her to a ideal point of completion, at least once. before they turn whatever other direction. It's the whole part. And that's kind of like what happened with that whole camp. That was bouncing off each other. That was, you know what I mean? It wasn't even so industry until it was already too late. They had already like bubbled up. They was already in the mix bubbling. Feel me? So, when you look at life now, it's like, what made me think about what I mentioned? It's like, how it's so weird. Like, niggas look at other people, like, and what they doing with other people as if it's something to be scared about or something to be protective of, when it's still fucking pedophiles out here. I don't get it. Like, I don't get that. That's something I don't get. That's weird to me, because it's like, don't nothing go without being noticed. So how come it's still starvation? Like, and how come it's still kids unsafe and sexually preyed upon? That's just weird to me. It's like, we gotta be careful where it's best to be careful at. Because otherwise we're just being anxious and paranoid. Paranoid. So you can say careful, but you really mean paranoid when you trying to make sure that another man ain't gay or another woman is not gay or is gay, when if they gay, they gay. Fuck does it matter? What about that kid who ain't never heard the word fucking gay until you was trying to act like you was worried about if another nigga was gay or not? That's what I'm saying. Before this shit came out, it was a little bit more tasteful. You feel me? Like, even when it became more accepted to be of a different orientation, it wasn't so promoted and celebrated. Like, it was only defended when there was abuse, you know what I mean, in that direction. But it's like, like I said, there's a larger agenda. You know what I mean, a more extensive sort of effect intended for even a lot of the different components that are involved. So it's like, that's all part of it. It's that control of that capacity. The capacity of what? Of that impact and effect. Of that what? Of that natural beauty. So it's like, that's all part of it. It's that control of that capacity. The capacity of what? Of that impact and effect. Of that what? Of that natural beauty. Natural beauty. Natural beauty. Plus, it isn't fair. What's most fucked up for her is just because she is noticed or celebrated, shouldn't have to or need to include implication, already automatically involve indications pertaining to interests. The fact is that it can, but however it does, is its own separate situation. In other words, exposure doesn't connote access or even the pretense of interaction. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that she has to be looking for anything just because she can be seen or even to be seen. Though unless the two of you are known to share common interests, however, there would exist an ulterior incentive to acknowledge her otherwise. So it's just kind of elaborate. Because what? Because why? And what? How am I meaning it? How am I meaning it? I mean, it's simple, as I mentioned, about any woman being had, any man being had, and how that's not so bad. But it shouldn't have to be. It shouldn't have to be anything or one or the next thing. We should all be busy enough and involved in our own becoming is the word, yes, to where that's not a factor. That's not so much of it. That not as much as it's so much of an issue nowadays. Like that's the only thing niggas is even worried about, but they're not even really even worried about it because they're not even really actually even involving themselves at all. Like they just like talking around it basically and reiterating and promoting what's not happening. Right? Because who's satisfied? Hardly nobody. And even if they is, they still being manipulated for the most part. That's the way it has to be. You know, that's how the way it has to be at this point because it's not safe for it to be. That's the way it has to be. Completely positive. Right? Because even in it being completely positive, it's going to have its natural as well as respectable elements of negativity. But even that is going to be shaping. Even that is going to be defining. Even that is going to be revealing and enlightening as well as educational and what is it called? Informational. It's going to be beneficial. Even in the negativity, which the negativity now, as I was speaking about, is some of that unnecessary negativity. Right? You got necessary negativity, you got unnecessary negativity. You got unnecessary positivity, and you got necessary positivity. Right? The unnecessary positivity is niggas acting like it's all good or trying to keep it fun when it's not even fun no more. It's not even fun yet. It was on its way to be fun when it was hijacked, is what I'm saying. Right? Because we've been through this again. We keep bouncing back. We keep repairing it. We keep reversing it. Right? We switch it, then it gets flipped. We flip it, then it gets switched. Yes? Right? And then, but throughout that happening, and we'll speak about what it is, I guess I'll have to explain who it is that I'm saying when I say they have grown in their preemptive, what do you call it, when you can detect something, detection, right? And what's interesting to me and eerie is that it's evident that is the nature of this machine, of this entity, of this they. That's the nature of their, I want to say operation, but it's more so of a, I don't want to say only attack, but it's more so of a infestation. Because that's exactly what the fuck it is an infestation. Okay? A straight virus, nigga. Alright, now, is it of a material nature? Is it of a molecular nature, cellular nature, which would be physical or material, or is it of a spiritual nature? Is it of a etheric nature? Yeah, you know what I mean? A sensual nature. A sensual nature. Well, I would say it's a sensual nature, which involves the spirit and the physical. You see, the very senses in themselves are the key receptacles and receptors used to detect, as well as, and they're also what is being detected at the same time, right? I mean, you hear that in me saying they're used to be detected or they're used to detect, but you didn't realize that you heard what you heard when I said that. So, and And I'm not even actually even saying it in all the ways that I'm meaning it either, and explaining it the second way that I'm explaining it to you. When I say that they're used to detect, and they're also what is being detected, the very senses in themselves. That's just the simplest, most first way I thought of it, or the quickest way that I could say it also to you. But it's another way that I'm also thinking about it as far as these senses and the sensual. Okay? But I'll leave it at that for now. I'm gonna overload you. Because a lot of us are in fucking the safe room and shit, nigga, in a bomb shelter, nigga, underneath life and shit right now. Because life is really like, it's dangerous right now. Life is super dangerous. Life is a straight up fucking battlefield right now. You know what I mean? It's an actual high speed race right now. High speed chase. That's what life is right now. With fucking all type of missiles and weapons too. Not just being chased and being shot at and all type of shit. Right? Obstacle course, all that extra shit. Okay? Only motherfucking Mad Max can navigate life right now. Fucking Indiana Jones is the only person, nigga, that can navigate fucking life right now. Tomb Raider, nigga. There's only people navigating life right now, yo, if you notice, nigga. Okay? The special of are the only ones that are even able to have a fucking ounce of connection, cuz. Right? Cause it's sticky, man. It's dangerous, man. It's risky, man. Right? Don't get me wrong. It's fun to be had. But when you look through the ranks, right? Even when you get up to the higher upper area, at this point, it's now becoming apparent to those who aren't actually as involved as they thought they was, right? Decades ago. And they already got pull, right? They got influence enough to do some of that slippery, slimy ass manipulation to where it's, multiples of people being hurt simultaneously. And it's not even hitting them until after they didn't hurt more people because they didn't realize it was including other people, like we and inevitably going to be doing is including people just living life to begin with. Unless you're more of an individual person, you can retain that quality of individualism and individuality. When the last time you heard the word individuality? I used to hear it a lot. I like that word. When the last time you heard the word individuality? I used to hear it a lot. I like that word. Individuality. Individuality. It's no reason why each of every individual cannot be becoming more of an individual in a group. It's no reason why each of every individual cannot be becoming more of an individual in a group. That's how I see it. That's why I draw characters. That's why I'm never gonna run out of details, nigga. Okay? And what's cold is you're gonna eventually run out of details. You can, if you put a feather in somebody here, you can't have another character with the same, with a feather and nowhere, basically. Unless that's a part of that individuality now that's quote unquote compromised. Unless it's creatively, strictly speaking, it's automatically compromised. Just by adding that similar detail or effect, right? Even if it's a different feather, nigga. I'm gonna put a peacock feather, it's still a feather, nigga. Nigga, he got an eagle feather in his hair, and she got a peacock feather tattooed on her arm. Oh, cuz. Hey. It's a feather, my nigga. Okay? Now, that's only one detail, cuz. But if this particular person, which is a character, because we all characters, yeah. But a lot of us, for the most part, are drones, cuz. Okay? You wanna try to act like you're gonna talk to her a particular way because she a woman, nigga, you out your mind. My nigga, you out your mind. You supposed to talk to her like she don't have no gender. Right? And then let her femininity surprise her. If you don't know that, cuz, then it's no hope for you, cuz. I mean, that goes without saying. That's what I'm saying as far as talk to her like she's a woman. That's not even a fucking factor, my nigga. Okay? That's not even a factor. That's like the fingers of a character, okay? Right? And yeah, sure, you can add a ring to it. You can add whatever glove to it. You feel me? You can put a sort of item in their hand, whatever, but they gonna have to have fingers. And the fingers gonna be shaped the same. Otherwise, that's a different style of character. Right? That's the whole thing about fingers. That's why when you look at all of Disney characters, they have the same gloves on. Okay? Now you look at Goofy or some of the tattered characters, the ones that's supposed to be poor, they might have ripped glove. The tip of their finger might be ripped. But they still got gloves on. Why? Because if they were not to have the same hands, then that'd be a different whole nother category of character, okay? Regardless of whatever details that make them different of a character. Mickey Mouse got whatever shaped ears, nigga. Goofy got different shaped ears. They got the same noses though. Unless it's a duck. The duck got a beak. But they got gloves on, all of them. Because that goes without saying, cause that's not even an issue. That's not a situation. So you've been reversed, flipped, and you're supposed to have made that switch towards what's more enriching for you individually. And how that connects to another individual in a way that is particular and special to the two of you. Regardless of gender, but that shouldn't have to be said either. You feel me? Let your body say that. Cause it's gonna say it. But you don't, but you scared, you fucking paranoid, you stuck in a bomb shelter. Yeah, man, I was thinking about though, what had made me think about that, man, is like, niggas is acting weird, like, acting a little like peculiar, like, niggas hella peculiar nowadays, man, and think it's funny, but at the same time, it's not funny, cause it's like, deep down, if they were to admit it to themselves, it's obvious that they feeling a way that they would rather not be feeling. So if at any time you feeling the way that you would rather not be feeling, nigga, you need to focus on changing that first, nigga. Whatever that's gonna take, right? And if you can get to a point to where you can change it, then you'll see what it takes and you'll see how comfortable and how you feel about whatever it takes. It taking whatever it takes. Okay? And then you have an opportunity at that point in your growth towards your development, towards your ideal self. You have that opportunity to change that or not. But you don't want to change shit. Okay? You don't want your whole life to change since she came in. And you don't want to know since then that she was a special one. Why? Because other people's gonna ridicule you if you don't know how to control her. But nigga, you not getting no money from her, nigga. You just dampering her fucking style, basically. To where now she can't even care about Karen. Now. Because it's gonna be too serious and shit, like, what the fuck? No, yo, now she looking for attention and shit from everywhere. When no, like, she supposed to have enough attention, nigga, just being who she is. It's crazy. It's interesting. It's so interesting. It's like, how could it get to that point? It's like, you gotta think about how could it get to a point that it's at. And it's not nothing necessarily wrong with it. However, it's like, at the same time, like I said, ask yourself how it is you truly feel inside. How do you feel? That's what you gotta ask yourself, girl. How do I feel? I feel focused, cuz. I don't have no time for fucking feelings, cuz. I decided to focus, nigga, a long time ago, nigga, when it didn't matter if I was sad, cuz. It didn't matter. I was home alone, cuz. Okay? It didn't matter, cuz. I'm in danger, nigga. Everybody around me is in danger, nigga. Don't matter how we feel, cuz. Now, if you in danger and still allowing yourself to feel away, then you're defeated, cuz. Cuz you need to focus, nigga. And not focus on winning against nobody else. Focus on freeing yourself. Now, if you have decided that what it will take is to win against somebody else to free yourself, then you would have to get to that point. And you ain't finna get to that point without something happening that should not happen. And even if you were to get to that point, you would see then, hopefully you don't have to get to that point in order to see that that's not the best method to take. Because it doesn't have to, and it shouldn't have to involve nobody else. And anytime that it does, it is completely incomplete. It may even seem like that it should, but that's just that much more keeping you from making sure. When you can say that, but you can also think about it. You can also try something else that is effective more immediately. Whatever that may be. When I say ask yourself how you feel, I'm not saying identify it and stay that way if it's not nothing that you like. I'm saying feel how you want to feel. It's going to take you doing what you want to do or doing what you have to do. Either way, you're going to have to do one or the next, what you want or what you have to do. As I mentioned, it should be what you have to do that you want to do. But it's not fair that what you have to do, you wouldn't want to do. But hey, man, that's what balancing is all about when it comes to fair and what's not fair. Okay, and that's why we got each other as individuals also. And that's something that you can also develop as well as explore within your own capacity. Naturally. Yes. But it's going to definitely take you making sure of what it is that it takes. And not waiting for anybody else to do anything else. That's the situation. That's really the situation when it comes down to it. Because that's how we get in this mix. To where it's exterior. You know what I mean? Putting the emphasis on that. And it's like, and like I said, it's more to it. You know what I mean? There's an extended sort of intended effect. And so she is very receptive. As well as intuitive, and deflective. Right? While we have they that are detecting and reacting, she is deflective in that she is elusive. Right? When she wants to be, or it's just natural. She knows how to camouflage, she knows how to revert. You know what I mean? She knows how to invert you know, exposure basically. Like, it's gonna look away, but that's only how it looks. You know, and if you are more concerned with exterior than interior, then it can be an array of things for you, at least. But it's gonna be one or the next thing after the other, as opposed to internal, where it's everything in each thing. It's already that, but you're seeing, but it's like I said, it's inverted exteriorly, right? And that's something she naturally does, and it's like I said, it's a consensus, right? It's like a wave, like I said, you feel me? You got that ripple that's actually a wave, but when you're centralized as that individual, you can't necessarily see it until your perspective is enhanced till you develop yourself to that level, whatever that may take, whatever that means for you. That can be something super simple, super quiet, but you're still gonna see those waves, most absolutely, and it's gonna make you blossom. That is going to be your inner blossoming, where you are planted, you know, however far your roots reach. But what is specifically even am I fucking saying right now? I'm saying specifically, I don't really think specifically. I mean, not that I don't think specifically. I don't think so typically. I'm an atypical thinker, right? And that's why, because I like speaking, I like discussions, I like conversation, I like phrases, and I like catchphrases and idioms and maxims, yes. But for me to just like already have them memorized and attached to my soul, it would take that interaction for it to be most impactful. It would take that interaction. And I prefer genuine, authentic sincerity. So that's something I have to be real patient with and apply to my own development as far as impactfully. You know what I mean? That's something that I am doing, but like I said, man, they ain't taking the preemptive, detective, you know what I mean? Reactive measures, you know? And that's a real thing. And what exactly is that? That's all part of the same thing that I mentioned to you though too. As far as the exterior, there's really nothing different or nothing else than all, regardless. It's what you have to realize, guys. Deep down, if they were to admit to themselves that obvious that they feeling a way that they would rather not be feeling. So if at any time you feeling a way that you would rather not be feeling, nigga, you need to focus on changing that first, nigga. Whatever that's gonna take, right? And if you can get to a point to where you can change it, then you'll see what it takes and you'll see how comfortable and how you feel about whatever it takes. It taking whatever it took. That's all part of the same thing that I mentioned to you though too. As far as the exterior, there's really nothing different or nothing else than all, regardless. It's what you have to realize, guys. It's what you have to realize. Okay? There's no enemy except for what you accept to be a threat to you. Now, even if you know it or not, it doesn't matter. And that's where that paranoia is the danger in itself. Okay? There's no enemy except for what you accept to be a threat to you. Now, even if you know it or not, it doesn't matter. And that's where that paranoia is the danger in itself. Right? That's how life can become a trap. A trap. Right? When nothing living, all life is an energy in itself. You get what I mean? But yeah, no, there's nothing outside of whatever everything at all is, rather. And if you can stay focused on that, or rather not stay focused, but allow yourself not to be distracted so much more so from that very realization and appreciation, which that's saying a lot, and it applies to many things, right? So that's why we have to read money. Things on that level of context. Right? That's why they diluted a lot of the information and material, knowledge basically. Details and classical reading material. What is it called? It's called intake, nigga. You feel me? You gotta fill your brain with something. You feel me? You gotta have something to refer to, some sort of reference. You don't have to, but you're going to either way. You would deserve for it to come naturally through the mouths of other speaking minds, because it's gonna link back with them being open and honest, is creatively, stylish or not, right? If it's not stylish, at least it can be honest, cuz. And even if it's, you feel me, part of the style might be that it's not so fucking obvious. It don't have to be a blatant fucking manipulative fucking con, right? And that's what's cold. Like, a lot of that is going on consciously and subconsciously, to where they know what it is you could say, because they are focused on winning against whatever and whoever. And that's another issue. Right? Because they say to yourself, how do I feel? Whether you say it to yourself or not, nigga, you're subconsciously thinking that already. You can't help but think that, because that's what feelings do. They influence your thoughts, whether you take hold of that or not. Effectively or not, naturally or not, honestly or not. You're automatically taking hold of it in any thinking that you're doing. And even if you aren't thinking at all, you're thinking as least as possible, you feel me? You're still doing. And that takes thinking. You cannot do anything without thinking. Okay? Now, say to yourself, fool, what do I do? Well, for the most part, you feel. And that's going to influence what you think. And that is going to influence what you do. However, fool, if you were to switch it while it's being flipped from the outside in, from the inside out, switch it while it's being flipped from the outside in, from the inside out. You switch it to where what you do influences what you think. And in turn, and subsequent process of becoming what you think influences what you feel. Influences what you feel. Then you'll be in a better position to say whatever the fuck, honestly or not. Right? Regardless of whatever the fuck we reading, or having to be left to rely on so as not to hurt more people in the process. This is reality. This is what is not happening, and it's not necessarily even so much of a they as it is a not us. Period. Right? Because why am I tripping so hard on me? I'm not even tripping hard at all. Why am I spazzing out on you? Because what am I saying? Right? How can I say it without spazzing on you? This is what we subconsciously know. But like I said, a lot of us, for the most part, the average person is paranoid. Why? Because life is so risky. You can literally die. And that's that. But why should we be so scared of that? Well, probably because that's not even a natural thing, right? And if it was, then it'd be every day. Niggas would be dropping like flies every 5 minutes, and that would work itself out to where now, at least whatever living we are doing, it's just that much more potent, right? And that's the situation to a certain extent, and that's where we see the art, right? That's the art of it. And that's absolutely going to be happening regardless, right? But what did I say? I said you're going to be feeling things. As I said, you got to think your way the fuck up out of it. But you got to do first, right? You can't feel first. I mean, you can do whatever you want to do, right? Even to feel is to do is the part, right? That's the whole part. It's about what it is that you're doing. Right? And the impact, right? The capacity of your actions. Because a feeling is an action, but a feeling is really a thought, right? Because to think is an action. Whether you're subconsciously acting or not, that's still an action. But to do, which all is action, to do anything is to act, right? But to act is to think. To act is to feel, or rather to feel is to act. To think is to act. This is the situation. Okay, so how do you feel? Well, shit. First of all, you gotta do something in order to even pinpoint how you feel. You can feel a way, but if you don't even realize that you feel that way, then what does it matter? What difference does it make? Well, it makes a difference. You realizing your feelings or not. Right? So what has to happen? In other words, what it is that is best to do individually? What has to happen? Well, you have to decide, as I did, right? To focus, right? You have to decide to allow it to matter more to you to realize your feelings or to not realize them. You can go through life and just enjoy the experience of feeling things. But the only thing about enjoying it is you're now itemizing the capacity of your very enjoyment. Like I said, you have to decide to be the sort of person that would rather be aware of their feelings. Because that's only the beginning. Once you make that decision, then you're automatically in a whole nother zone. Right? Because you're not ever going to actually even know the difference between your feelings. And that's the whole thing about feelings and knowledge, as well as understanding. Every feeling is the same. It's all love to begin with, right? Your love of whatever else got you feeling one way or the next way. Your love of one thing or the next thing got you feeling one way or the next way. That's all a feeling is your love of something. Okay? Now, why do you need to love anything else? That all involves what you do. Okay? Now that's what a feeling is. It's a lack of action to begin with. Because love is an action. It's not a feeling. But unless you're doing instead of not doing, then it is only a feeling. For the most part, as I started off saying, we're not doing what we would do. And it's become a game now to where, bitch, if I look at you, what's to stop me from having you? Well, you wanting me. That's the type of man I am. Motherfuckers don't give a fuck though. Truly, deep down, it don't make a difference to them. And that's how they want to come off. All in front of folks. When I'll have her slap the shit out your ass. Because it's going to be far worse whatever do happen, end up happening for you, cuz. Because that subconscious energy, bro, that collective subconscious energy that she's distracted from is far more dangerous, right? That's why she's gonna keep you on the outskirts, nigga, of your feelings, in your feelings, okay? Circulating, right? Because, my nigga, she'll eat you alive. That's what ended up happening for you. You know what I mean? She's nothing but a portal. She's not nothing but a portal, but that's absolutely what a woman is a portal. Okay? Right? She's a doorway, bro. You feel me? Now, nigga, where your keys at? Now, one of them feelings, nigga, is any one of your keys. And you can't have no key to a lock. If you can have a key, but nigga, is you a locksmith, though? You feel me? Who made the lock? What company made that lock? You dig what I mean? I gotta learn how to make locks before I'm walking around with keys. Otherwise, I'm relying on that key. You dig what I mean? Motherfucker might feel like it's the right key. It's the wrong key. I'll lose my key. I got to break that lock, or I got to dismantle the lock. Why? Because we both, me and her, trapped behind or in front of that door at that point. Without that key, or without that knowledge of how to dismantle locks, man. If it's a lock on the door to begin with, who didn't put the key? First of all, that's what I'm saying. Like, if it's a lock on her, because she the door, did she put the lock on there or not? Because if so, then you get the key from her. You don't have to worry about losing it, because if it's a lock, then you just get the key from the door. If you need it. I'm gonna let you unlock your own door, oh. I don't need the key. I don't need to learn about unraveling locks, even though I'm a locksmith, even though I'll be trying to forget how to unravel locks. So it be happening, and then you be looking for me to try to structure your lock back. Look, it's not my fault. That's just how I was raised as a locksmith, all right? I can't help that. You know what I mean? I'll be trying to forget it, distract myself, be involved, focus on my own individuality enough. But these books are compromised, okay? Now they're trying to hijack conversations now, guys. I was trying to get away with discussions, guys. Fuck. And then motherfuckers want to get a lot more covert. You feel me? You know what I mean? Clever and shit. Trying to act like they not really feeling the way that got them thinking that it's best to do what the fuck they never gonna either do. Well, these useless ass fucking keys. Well, these useless ass fucking keys. Because why you need a key door put the lock on itself. Oh, if you're trying to go through that door, then you take that up with the door. Then you take that up with the door. Okay? Now, if it is that she didn't put that fucking door lock on her door, and she ain't got no copy keys, she don't even know how to make keys. She don't, first of all, got the master key to her lock. She don't even know how to make copies to keys, even if she got the master key to her lock. Yes, so she can't give you a key. She got to use her own key, and she got to trust it with you, not to lose it. Or she's got to share it with you in order for you both to go through the door that is her. Yes, the portal into a pleasant situation or an unpleasant situation, depending on what direction that door is facing. Okay? That is the portal that is her. That is the portal that is her. Yes. So she should have put the lock on herself. If she got a lock on her, she's the door. It's the part. So if she didn't put her own lock on herself, then that's good that you know how to dismantle locks. And you can choose whether or not to teach her how to build locks. Because she'll fuck around and let your ass build a whole nother lock for her without even showing her how to. Won't ask for the key and none of that extra shit. Won't even, but be watching to make sure you ain't giving a key that copy to nobody else. Or looking to see at other people who trying to get a copy of the key without you realizing. But they gotta get it from you though. But she's on the watch, not for how to build this lock, not for her own key, but for who will be trying to get a key from you without you knowing. Okay? Is the situation. Right? That's what I'm saying. So, y'all built that lock together. If you need a lock, which is best to have a lock, because you know what I'm saying? Shit, why not? It's good to have a lock, I guess. Whatever. Yeah, you want to lock that in. Lock the door. Yeah, I mean, lock your door so that, for whatever fuck reason, I don't know. You know, so, yeah, man, she gotta learn how to. She don't have to learn. She not interested in learning, and it ain't gonna matter. She gonna fuck up anyway. The lock ain't gonna work. She ain't even interested in it. But you know, you got to find you one. You got to find you a portal, a door, nigga that's interested in learning how to build locks, man. You know what I'm saying? I think it's what I mean. I think it's what I mean. But but that's just weird. You know, doors don't be realizing, they don't be aware of the fact that they, you know what I mean, of their own keys a lot of times. You know.
Such a nuisance, trying to kill all the loose ends. Tell me how the truth became so elusive. Them illusions from the fusion, the intrusion, contusion. You got me confused, man. Wish I could change everything up. You all in my zone, Jack on home ain't the same. Cause wondering if I was still the same girl. Wonder the girl you knew before she came up. Wonder what if I was you? What if I was the same? What about the truth running around with no shame? What if I wouldn't unleash you? Would it please you? How would I feed you? What if to you I was just a leecher? Why would I need you? Why would I need you? Yeah. Tell me why the hell is something always wrong? Tell me why the hell I had to write this song. Even when I'm right, they gon' say I'm wrong. Oh, well, tell me why the hell I had to write this song. Tell me why the hell is something always wrong. Even when I'm right, they gonna say I'm wrong. Oh, well, oh, well, you can't understand me is an understatement. I love you more because I know you hate me. I love you more cause I know you forsake me. So you hate it more, can't wait to drive the stake in. You lucky I do this for different reasons. Shine all the time, no matter the seasons. Lowry's, swear they out here extra salty. Man, they out here extra salty. I swear they out here extra salty. Yeah. All in time, one day you'll find the truth without love. Truth without love. The truth without love. Truth without love is just a lie.
Yeah, okay. There he is. That's how it is. That's where we at. There it is. That's where we at. So yeah, I mean, what is the key? And so what is this key? What is the key? Who is the key? Where is the key? The key, of course, is communication. Communication is the key. Yes, communication is key. Right? She is the door, a portal, as she is and have been. Yes, portal to where? Either out or in. Yes, in or out. But both at the same time, because at the same time, nigga, when you exit an entrance, it all depends on the direction. You feel me? You headed in. And that's the point between you and her and that communication and that being very key. You understand? Because it's one or the other. A 0 or a 1 or 1 over 0. Yes? But it's both, because for it to be a lie, that is only because it is not true. You did. Or the full truth. And there's always degrees between false and true. Yes, that communication, man, the truth. Communication is either one of two things, true or not. You understand? And so that is why it involves that lock. And that lock is what? That lock is that love. You understand? Yes. Sometimes she ain't built her own lock. Right? She's born with the tools, right? She's born with the tools, with the components, with the parts of the lock. Yes. In fact, she might even help form the parts of the lock. Yes. In her rearing, in her growth, in her development. No. However, at some point, those pieces came together into a full module, and it was attached to her one way or the next. Over time, faster or slower, sooner or later, right? Not all of y'all are unknowing, but it does take me, the key holder, the key maker, the key master, It takes us, the key master, so as to fortify, and also reestablish, or rather help to establish the design. Every lock is different, that's the whole point of keys. You have a master key though, that unlocks every lock. Yes. You have a key that unlocks your lock, right? But the master key unlocks your lock and every other lock. You understand? Now, how is that even possible? Well, that's all in the design of that lock. How can one key shaped one way and another key, because a key open a door, open a lock, does it not? But if this master key is shaped in a way adequate enough to open up a lock, and you have another key that opens the same lock, but it is not shaped the same, then that means what? That there is a special capacity of keys? Not so necessarily. It's just that lock is universal. That lock is accessible by just more than one form of key. Your key and the key. You understand? Your key is automatically going to match the key. Enough at least for her lock, yes? Or the lock. But you can't take your key and go open no other lock though. Unless those keys match. You could take a master key. You can copy a master key and give it to her. But why would you do that? Maybe just teach her how to craft locks. Right, as I was saying. You can always give her a key, but if she loses, she's still gonna have to depend on that key. As opposed to not having to depend on nothing except for time, which is what it takes to fortify and craft that lock to begin with. Which is always gonna be openable by a master key. That master key is what? It's unconditional love, right? It's divine love. Not just imperfect human love, right? You know what I'm saying? And that's the whole thing. It's not to be, it's not for everybody. Everybody's love is individual, but it's always going to match what love is, and that is real. And real love can't be forged, can't be copied. I mean, it could be copied, but it can only be copied. You know what I'm saying? Or rather duplicated, not even copied. It can't be copied, but it can be duplicated. Which is the same thing to a certain extent. But when I say that, I mean, for instance, your key opens your lock, so in enough ways it matches the master key, but only in that way does it match that master key. Only in your way. And not no other way, because that would just be a duplication of the master key as far as whatever other lock is involved. But she is the door and she holds the lock. Why? Because she is a portal. Portal to what? Portal to where? Portal to when? Out or in, as we were saying, friend. No? Remember? You have forgot already. I was trying to see if you were going to remember. Indeed. Yes, she is the collection. She is that meaningful connection. Yes, as to how it even makes any difference what it is that you're thinking about. Otherwise, what the fuck is truth? If it don't matter to nobody else, and who's it gonna matter to most? Other than the one that you share your life with. Whether it is you up under them and next to them all the time, as much as possible, or not. As long as it's real, that's life you're sharing. And all the life you're living, even apart, will come back to that key turn at some point. Now, sometimes you gotta wiggle the key. You know what I mean? It's just sometimes you gotta have a little technique of how you actually like Jimmy your way through that door. Where's the door going? out and in, as well as out or in. No, you leave the same door you come to. Do you not? Of course you do. We're talking about portals. We're talking about this woman having a lock on her and her being a door. And a lot of times I'm not really understanding the makeshift design and arrangement of her very own lock. Why? Well, because of course, it's factories is manufacturing these locks nowadays, right? It's standard sort of, mass-produced locks. You slap the lock right on the door with the wop. But who got the master key to these locks? It's going to be that manufacturer, cuz. No? Unless you're a locksmith and know how to craft a master key. Just like it would take a locksmith working with this company so as to be closely involved with the locks that are made so as to know exactly what it will take to have an adequate master key. Right? Because one master key can open different sorts of locks. A door lock, a car lock, same key, right? A safe lock, same key, right? Interestingly enough, my G, you see a fucking locksmith pop up, you paying this locksmith $7,000. It ain't like a regular type of locksmith to where they're gonna break your whole lock up. And you be sitting there without a lock after you didn't got in your door because you was locked out of your door or whatever the fuck. But now you gotta recraft a whole nother lock or buy another lock from somebody else because you don't know how to make your lock. In other words, depend on another person so as to provide you with what it is that you need so as to stay safe and secure. Yes? As far as whoever else might be dwelling or whatever else you have in there that you don't want to not be in there when you need it to be in there. For whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? A draft might pull whatever your belongings out of your space that's behind your door. Anybody could just walk up in there for any reason. They trying to rob you, but if the door's sitting up wide open, they see something they won't. They might not even think twice to partake and get off with, straight up confiscate yourself, basically. A sale with your items to God knows where, and put it in behind another door somewhere, yo. You feel me? Put it behind another door somewhere with all type of other belongings, random little, ain't no telling, right? And who got the master key to that lock and shit? For the most part, it's pretty general, right? And it's that way for a reason, so that we can try to kind of keep it in order to a certain extent. But there's already an order is what I'm saying. The order is what? Everybody got their own lock, right? Everybody craft their own lock. Yes. You got the components. It don't have to be solidly complete until you're ready for it to be complete. In the meantime, yes, your door is open to visits, but that's why you are next to other doors, right? Who have to clearly completed their locks already, however, in whatever way with whoever they trust enough to share keys with or whatever else. No? Right? Because it's not fair that you got to be around. You have to be around whoever else who might be able to help you get in your door. If you need help getting in your door, there should be a master key that everybody got. There is a master key that everybody got. Right? But we didn't let these factories and companies throw these other type locks on these doors. Right? To where it's a different master key, right? You know what I'm saying? You gotta be initiated. You gotta be part of the little program in order to even get the key or the duplicate of the key, unless you're a locksmith, right? And that's the whole part of what I'm saying. Myself being a locksmith. Yes. I got the key to these standard ass, you know what I mean? These factory locks. But no, I can't let niggas know that because of course, you know what I mean? It's not safe for niggas to know that I got the key, right? So it's like, if I ever gotta use the key, shit, man, you should be giving me a key first of all, right? Or first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you how to break the lock down, right? You gonna come up out of that fake ass lock, right? And if time permits enough, we can build you another new lock, yo. You dig what I mean? But if not, you already surrounded by these other doors for sure. You know what I mean? And all these locks got alarms on them, okay? Proximity alarms. So you gotta kind of wait till, you feel me, different times of the day or whatever the fuck to even make whatever changes to your lock. It's the whole part. Also, unless we can be in cahoots and the entire building, which, building got doors to rooms or whatever. And that's what these women is. These women just like those collectives, you know what I'm saying? Those circles and shit. You know what I mean? That's like a castle. That's like a palace. You feel me? It's like like a factory in itself that built other locks. You know what I'm saying? The factory got doors to it too. You know what I mean? Behind them doors, you got machinery, nigga. Tools, nigga. To build big ass locks, nigga. For bigger doors, nigga. Yes. On fat ass cargo freight ships and shit. That's a big ass lock on that door. Locks are generally about the same size, no matter how large the door, though. You understand? So, where is this door going, though? Well, it's going to go inside of her, or it's going to go outside of her. Okay? It's also going to lead outside of the matrix or deeper into the matrix. Right now, deeper into the matrix would be outside of her. But it's the same door though. Okay? Same key. Out of the matrix, will be deeper inside of her. You know what I'm saying? And that's how she is the door, a portal. And this is the situation. Why? Because of course, it's all, you know what I mean? It's all a rotation, a cycle, a process having to do with, of course, your approach, as well as your intention, as well as your business, even at this particular premises, cause that is her. Or rather, that is life on this earth and in this system, in this program, or not, right? Her happening to be the door. Inside or outside of that. Right? But inside of that will be outside of her, no? So your ass in the code. But inside of her will be outside of that. So your ass is exposed. You ain't warm because the sun is shining bright. Right? But inside of that will be outside of her, no? So your ass in the code. But inside of her will be outside of that. So your ass is exposed. You ain't warm because the sun is shining bright. Outside of the program. But it's shining bright. So your ass is exposed to a certain extent. Depending on the makeout of the layout of this landscape, nigga, of where you find this door at. And you can still get some sun. You understand me? Time enough to be breaking down locks and shit all the time, all outside the door, unless you're gonna break down the lock from behind the door, inside. Right? But like I said, you still outside the system inside. So which outside is you at? You know what I'm talking about? is you outside her? Right? And inside, so that it's not so obvious, breaking down this lock? Well, shit, man, same difference to a certain extent. So, like I said, it's all about them rotations, man, and the fluctuations, man. You talking about, right? And so, yeah, that's the whole thing. What is the lock? The lock is the truth. The lock is that love and the truth. True love is the lock. You know what I mean? It's not even so that true love is always perfect or even a good thing. Sometimes the truth about love is revealing where the healing needs to happen, right? And it's not even the same person that helps you break your lockdown, yes, or gives you the manual instructions so as to master locks in the thing. Or perhaps that you even share your key with or give your key to and forget all about yourself and be dependent on this nigga to open your door for you. or someone you met that had a master key and gave you a master key, right? To your own lock, to where it's like, what do you walk into other doors locks at the same time, right? Either way, that communication is the key. That connection is going to be the key regardless. Me, myself, I'm a locksmith and a key master. Why? Because I say what should be said, regardless of how I feel or how a motherfucker gonna feel about it. Especially if it can do better than it can do worse. But not every time, because of course, like I said, man, the sun is shining bright, man, within her. You dig? So me, it's like at the same time, me, myself, just being an abstract sort of just, you feel me? Traverser, you know what I mean? And traipser, you dig what I mean? I'm in all type of different sort of peculiar sort of, you feel me, form sort of architecture, you know what I'm talking about? To where, nigga, we got rays coming through shafts, nigga, in halls full of sun, you know me? Beaming right to my first eye, nigga, like the pyramid, nigga. But that's inside the pyramid, though, like, but you still got a magnified, nigga, concentrated sunbeam, nigga, come right to your throne, nigga, within the pyramid. Oh. But you ain't heard about this or what? You're not paying attention. Attention is expensive, man, when you don't pay it, man. You know what I'm saying? It can rack up. You don't pay attention. You're gonna be in debt. And that can get out of control, man. You might end up having to get bankrupt. And that's bad for business. Depending of, you know, that business of attention when it comes to communication and all them other things, and that being key to motherfuckers' locks and shit. You understand? You know what I'm saying? You can't communicate without attention. You're gonna be getting attention in order to be communicating. But if you ain't giving attention to where it deserves to be at for it to return to you, then your communication, you know what I mean? It's key still. It's still key. It's still key. You know what I mean? But what kind of door is it open though? Where's that door going? In or out? You know what I mean? Because it depends on the door, but also it depend on the key too. You know what I'm saying? To a certain extent. And who got the key? And why you got the key? If communication is key, you a key master, so what, nigga? You still gotta have keys on hand, nigga, like, unless you got a master key, right? And even if with your master key, what is you opening doors for? You gotta have a reason to be opening the door. And you either going in and out of that motherfucker or you coming up out of that door, right? Like I said, I'm in contraptions, you feel me? I'm on sort of all type of, you know what I mean? So the premises and shit, so I'll be fun. Sometimes I'm in front of doors. I didn't even come through this door. I ain't never seen this door. I gotta get off and get out of this door. I did not come in this door, but I'm for sure finna slide from the fuck up out of this door right fast. Right? I gotta look through the keyhole, through the door hole real quick to make sure ain't nobody passing, you know what I mean? But sometimes you never know. Cameras will spot you either way. You just gotta wait till the right time, you know what I mean? Gotta see and concentrate yourself. You know what I'm saying? Breathe in 10 seconds. Go for it, man. Don't get about that business off, but you gotta have your key for that. And what is the key? Key is communication, cause for your ass to get the fuck from about that door. I'm talking about, or up in it. Now, it depends on the door. Also, I ain't never seen this door, but for me to go back the other way, that'd be a lot more dicey also, you know what I mean? I can always find another door, but shit, man, like I said, hey, sometimes you gotta take a risk, you never know. I don't know what's behind this door. I didn't come through this door, feel me? Hopefully, you know what I mean? I ain't got myself caught up in some sort of area that's too crazy. Hey, that's the whole thing about communication. And opening your mouth at all. Right, because keys is flying and they landing in locks, right? They may not turn the lock once they land up in there, but they there. So that means she got to grab that key so that she have it if she ain't have it, or put it in and take it out of her lock so that she can not have whoever else come turn the key or whatever else. You know what I mean? Sometimes it you know what I mean, lodge right into the lock and turn itself, and then the door just fling open, just out of the communication. Yeah, I'm not even around. Keys flying everywhere, landing in locks. You feel me? Busting open doors. Sometimes the door don't open. Sometimes it closes the door. Sometimes it locks the door. You feel me? Break off inside the lock, nigga, because it's communication. It's just that key. I break keys off sometimes inside of locks, nigga. Sometimes it'll lock for a break off. Sometimes it don't lock. Shit, door be stuck open with a broke off fucking communication key in it. I may be paying attention or not. You know what I mean? It's just, hey, that's the math of it. That's, you know, you give and take. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But the whole thing about it is, you know, it's like, we gotta learn about what makes a lock. And the lock is what? Of course, that love, you know, that truth. It's really the truth, you know? That's the general lock, is the truth, you know? And I don't want to say like love is truth and truth is love, but everything is love, right? And the truth is nothing if it's not spoken, except for love. The truth is nothing if it's not spoken, except for love. You know what I mean? And if communication is key, and the truth is the lock / love, right? But truth is nothing but love, or rather love is nothing but truth is not, if it's truth is not nothing but love if it's not spoken, right? Now, if communication is key, right? And the lock to the door that is her being a portal into best or worst, as far as results are concerned, here on this earth and beyond, through the earth, and so forth, was the part and the situation. Her being the door with a lock on her or not, you feel me? That lock is gonna be reality. You know, you could feel like you got a lock, but if you don't know the difference, anybody might be able to just be able to pop your lock even without a key. If your lock is not ready, right? If your lock is not sturdy, then nigga, I'm sliding in your door. You know, you don't know the difference. You know, you gotta have it. Be solid clad, with an alarm on it and all that shit. You really don't need none of that. That's all part. But at the same time, nigga, if you say in an area where any sort of just, you know what I mean, prowler coming up to your door, then that's what that truth is for. You know what I mean? It's like you can be able to tell reality, you know, from an illusion. And that's the entire game with these other locks that is, you know, that these standard sort of companies could just open up with the master key. These locksmiths that have been bought, as opposed to staying true to the order, right? The creative locksmithing, which is that which involves that communication, right? Because even as a locksmith, the communication is how you form the keys also. Well, they're not the communication, but that attention, as I was saying, no? Giving attention to the right places, so as for your communication to be that much more universally effective. You know what I'm saying? Now it's involved with locksmithing. It has to do with that love, because what love is what? Love is truth and truth is love. It's care, you know what I'm saying? It's attention in itself, it's energy, right? Is responsibility. You know what I mean? It's accountability, you know what I mean? Love is, nigga, life in itself. Time. You know what I mean? God. You know? So when it comes to the key in communication and connection and speaking, that's where the truth coming at. Okay? That's where the truth coming at. Now, if truth is not nothing but love, nothing but love, if it's not spoken, but communication is key, and love is the lock / truth is the lock. That's why we learn how to craft locks. Because really, if you are a lock maker or a locksmith yourself, you don't need no key. Right? What are you using keys for? Is that just anybody who don't have that true knowledge / wisdom? In the case, this would be wisdom as opposed to knowledge. Right? That craftsmanship, yes. That discipline, yes. That devotion, yes. An initiation to an order, yes. To a service to God, life, and love, and truth. It don't always mean like me just blurting shit out or whatever. And I said I blurted shit out, or I gotta say whatever else. I mean, I'm real creative with it. That's why niggas be trying to pick what they gonna say to me, to where it's like I gotta say something that I shouldn't say. I gotta say some shit I shouldn't say, right? Because they gon' now want to fucking leave my presence and have to talk to other fake niggas if they get to talking about anything real to me, with me, right? For the most part. And that's when I put my key in their mouth. So they don't have to say nothing they gonna regret and shit. So, I don't, you know what I mean? We don't want to get like caught up in the mix, like between doors and shit, like, you know, really in and out and in at the same time, all these other things. You know what I mean? It's like, sometimes it's involved and people be forgetting that a lot of times because they're not used to niggas not popping their lock, and they look up and niggas and pop their lock. They gotta get a whole nother lock, and they gotta find a way to even afford that when they ain't been paying attention. So they in debt for attention already, so it's awful. Right? So it's crazy. It just get involved sometimes, but as far as like what I was saying, as far as like me and how like I'll say what comes to my heart, you know? But I'm not gonna just say it without thinking about it unless that's the rhythm of the exchange. And even then, I've become accustomed as a locksmith, right? Master key maker and lock crafter with diverse and versatile ways I'm thinking of whatever else I'm thinking about, so as to communicate and express and communicate it in endless different ways. That's why I can't really fucking decide on what word I'm gonna say half the time, right? Low key, because it's not nothing set that I'm trying to have happen, or an effect that I have in mind that I'm familiar with, you know, applying. You dig? Like this master key to these standard ass stock ass locks, which can be popped also. I mean, it's hard. You got the alarm on there, you know, but at the same time, there's ways around that. Right? There's always ways around that. Especially when you got, you know, master lock makers or locksmiths, right, that can dismantle any lock also. But for the most part, there's a code of respect for these people that have, you know, that have acquired this particular skill. That's not just a whatever type thing. You either work with the system as a locksmith or you don't. Work with the system as a locksmith or you don't. Why? Because it takes time to get to that point. And that whole time, like I said, is involved with loving and lying or not lying. So you gotta be extremely systematic in itself, right? You gotta have a design to your configurations for the most part. Yeah, and always improvise, right? Whatever turn you done took before, take a different turn. If it's not a turn, you make it be a turn, a new turn, right? You walking down the hallway, nigga, go through the ceiling. Fuck it, if you can, you might as well. Ain't nobody else ever did that. Okay, you get up in the ceiling, shit, you might find some more doors up in there, man. Okay, they show you how to make some new locks. Right? They don't even use keys, they use voice recognition and shit. To where, like, you nigga, it's locked, homie. Ain't no getting past that lock even with a key. You gotta have it, you feel me? It's next level, guys. eye scanners and all this extra shit. Keys, come on, man. They in the ceiling, man. Okay? Crafting locks for us, man. But shit, man, you gotta be ready for that, man. You feel me? That's the advance, my nigga. That's the enhanced advance there, brother. The voice recognition eye scanner family. Okay? Me, I'm a pass. For the most part, I'm a pass. The eye recognition and voice scanner. Right? But I don't always take the ceiling. I don't, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, I'm pretty formulated in the configurations, right? The design of my configurations to where it's like, I ain't really had to hop into the ceiling too many times. But like I said, that's how I know they're there. You know what I mean? Waiting for us to, you know what I mean? Choose who it is that we gonna, you feel me, share this skill with, you know? Because you either gonna be inducted, right? You're gonna be inducted by the system to learn it, and then it's gonna be an imbalance of those who know that should know against those who know who didn't come across it or upon it naturally. So that's what's happening also with these doors. So it's not like whatever, like okay, just you know teach them how to craft the locks or give them master keys. You know, because like I said, a lot of them will give you that key, don't even think about it twice, to be looking for you to open their door, right? Or don't even have a key to their lock. Right? You gotta be a locksmith to even get through their lock, because they don't have the key, right? And they don't know how to break down their lock. You may know how to break down their lock, but if you break down their lock, then you gotta make sure that she can build another lock, right? If you don't teach her how to break down and build locks, then even then you don't want to teach her, so you gotta make sure that she even do what it is you teaching her to do at least once, so it ain't your fault that her lock ain't there, even though she supposed to already know how to do it and be inspired to do it. If you don't see it happen for sure before you ain't paying attention, then that's somebody you done taught how to break down and bust up locks for nothing. Right? But see, that's the whole point. Not everybody is ready for that. Not everybody's even interested in that. Some people will just take a duplicate master key and handle it that way. Right? Or you are a locksmith, so you can craft her a key for her and then even a master key. And just give her key back, even though it's a stock-ass, generic-ass, obsolete, busted-ass, rusty lock already. But sometimes, like I said, she comfortable with her lock, my G. You know what I mean? She comfortable with her lock. She just need you to go ahead and craft another key for her because she misplaced her key. Me, I don't like to get involved with that because they be mad when you know what I mean? The lock is defective and they run into problems with their lock, even though they love the lock and they kind of like a little bit nervous to kind of venture off into different things. If I didn't give her the key, she would have had to do something else. You think what I'm talking about? With whoever else. And that, a lot of times, would be like what I don't be wanting to have to happen either, because then she can blame me for that. You know what I mean? Like, because you didn't make my key for me, I had to go to this other thing and then get this key done for me. No, you didn't have to do a fucking thing. Oh, I told you how to bust down locks. I told you, don't fuck with me, I'm a locksmith. Put this key in your mouth. What's wrong with you? What did you even communicating with me for, oh? Don't you know communication is key? Where your key at? Oh, you ain't got your key? Oh, I could tell by your lock you didn't have no key, cuz. I like your door though. I like your door. You know? It's just the right material. You know what I mean? Fortified iron, all that extra shit. You know what I mean? With the trappings, nice little ornamental sort of fixtures and all that extra shit. You know what I'm gonna do for you? I'm gonna go through your door. I'm gonna pop through your ceiling time, alright? I'm gonna locate these other doors you got in your attic, alright? We're gonna develop this technology, yes? While I'm in your door, we're gonna be developing this technology. So hopefully you don't get too tired of me too fast, so I can get this
technology to where, we can fit you out with your fresh new lock, you know what I mean? It'll be a different type, special type, you know what I mean? State of the art, futuristic lock and shit for these coming times. You know? Because we don't know what's going to happen. They might say fuck locks and just be busting down doors. You know what I mean? Collecting locks. You know what I mean? Ripping a lock off the door just to collect locks for nothing. You know what I mean? They ain't even trying to go through the door or out of the door. They just want the lock. Give a fuck about the door. Like, we're snatching these locks up. We need this metal. What the fuck? This lock came off a door, bro. Fuck wrong with you? This lock came off a door. You just snatching, taking locks? That's what's finna be happening, guys. Give me your lock. Give me your lock. Give you my lock? This lock is for my door. Not anymore, it isn't. Oh, cuz, who let you? How you get in this area? I thought this was a gated community. I thought I was... Man, yo. Should we finna have to build bigger locks or something, cuz? Give you my lock. Wait, I'm the door. What are you doing with this lock? You mean the key? Don't you want the key? Give me your lock, ho. Oh, I'm confused. Where's Ceremonious? I'm in the attic. Psst, in the attic. I'm in the hall. Get a look at your lock. I'll give you another lock. We'll build you another lock, love. Don't worry. Let them fools have them locks. That's what I'm doing in the attic, man. We getting you another lock. Don't tell them. Psst, I'm in the attic. Cut your lock. Don't say nothing. Don't make a scene. He'll leave and not think twice about it. Alrighty? I got you. We got you, right? But look, I'm coming back to this attic. You know what I mean? I'm through your lock, man. When you least expect it, I'm all up in your lock, all through your door, all in your attic. You know what I mean? I don't gotta be up in here. I'm a locksmith. I love what I do. I don't know the fuck about you. I love what I do. We in the mix with it. If you supposed to love what you do too. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't loving what you do, at least do what you love. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? If it is love that it is that you're doing, then you should become a locksmith because, hey, that's just life, you know? Love is life and communication is key. You know? And even if you're secure, you ain't trying to go through too many other locks because you're a door, right? And it's for me to come through and out of doors and indoors. You understand? Right? However, there's doors, there's sometimes many doors on buildings. In the same place, there's many doors. You know what I'm talking about? And just because a door is in one place don't mean you can't unbolt that door, my nigga, and take it with you wherever you want to take it to another doorway. Yes. And when she get there, is she gonna be the only door there on the premises? Well, that means that they're gonna be communicating and discussing what? Truth. Hopefully. Which is what? Which is love? Which is what? Which is locks, my nigga. Right? And if she not a locksmith, you know what I mean? There's only so much attention she can give. I mean, you're gonna have to supplement and fulfill that gap of attention that she wasn't able to expend and retribute elsewise. With the other doors, my nigga. You understand? It's just how it is sometimes. You know what I mean? If you like the door, you can take it with you sometimes. They're gonna be around to snatch your lock anyway, cuz. So you don't wanna have to stay at our lock if you ain't there. Might as well take the door with you, cuz. You feel me? You can't be having them snatch up your state of an art lock, your voice recognition lock. You feel me? They're gonna be able to decode that eventually. You know what I mean? And use your own voice against you, cuz.
Darkness growing over me silently. It's creeping closer. Depths try to take hold of me violently. They seem to hold her. Snake, I try some wizardry patiently. You seem to bolster hate towards my imagery vacantly. You are the sorceress. 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 Regain all my energy, trying to submit over momentary blasphemy, lying to your own is colder. Snake, I try some wizardry, running low fools. You seem to bolster towards my energy. Tell me the truth. You are the sorceress. 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 You are the
So the door is her. It's her. So the door is her. Right? Where is she going? Or where does she go? Where does she lead? Oh, out or in? In where? Deeper within this systems program, right? Surrounding sort of conditioning. Right? Because she's a portal to energies. Even most closest. Right? That's why they say that the woman is more emotional, yes? More emotional. Biologically speaking, or even neuroscientifically, you consider the left side of the mind to be the conscious mind, and the right side accepted as the more feminine or emotional, i.e. intuitive hemisphere of our brain, to, as they say, control the subconscious or emotional mind. Subconscious mind. More emotional, yes? It's only that she touched and grows life within her, yes? Like I said, her nerves, at some point, even if it's not her and she happens to be a daughter herself, right? Before even adolescence, she is still of that same chemical as well as biological and biochemical and metabolic structure, making her a door. You understand? Right? You put a key in a door, my name.
So we got the keys, they got the locks. Simple as that. Simple as that. Yes? I mean, metaphorically speaking, yes? So where is she going? Her door is going to either lead into realms of her, right? And that's always good if you can make it past that threshold, because you can, once you pass the door, or once you enter the portal, or rather you activate the portal, right? Sometimes ain't no telling what is in and out or out, and where it's in and out too, right? Because like I said, it's both at once to a certain extent. So it's always good if that portal is activated correctly, or jointly, you know, because it's like you may be experienced with portals, you know, but it's not just that she is a portal, she's still her. And everything that makes her a portal is the person that she is. It's her soul, it's her very voice in itself. Yes, it's her decisions, it's her agreements, right? It's her understanding and appreciation of the situation as well as the moment. Yes, like we were saying. Yes. The connections, because there's a different connection every time. Like I said, sometimes your key opens the lock right away. Sometimes it sticks sometimes, right? Yeah, you can, and just because you got a key don't mean you gotta lock the lock either. You know what I mean? If you don't want to have to take the extra time to open the door, or you want her to feel freer, being that she's a door, and you got a key too, that means she got to take her own key to unlock herself. Anytime she want to just open herself. If you didn't lock her lock because you got a key. Right? Leave that up to her to do. She the door. So you can leave, or rather be wherever, doing whatever else. Otherwise, it's not necessarily that you left, because sometimes when you go to that portal, nigga, like I said, you don't really know what didn't happen or is going on. It may seem like you're delving deeper within the realm that is her, and that's always good. But even in it being bad, it's good. Why? Because it's at least real. And that is the whole idea. That's the whole point. It's at least real. That's the whole point of her being a door, right? And that's the one side of her doorism, right? Her portalism. The other side is, of course, that she is a portal for all of life, right? To a certain extent. Also, that's also what that means in enough ways. Subtly, as well as mathematically, as well as spiritually, as well as technically, quite technically. Because like I said, her nerves will, or did, at least in another life, because she came out of a woman that at least touched her, right? And the woman that is a woman / portal whose insides as well as internal, basically whole full of their being, touched her closest in a way that no man will ever be able to. As far as a man will never be able to touch a person in a way similar, right? All we can do is go inside as opposed to having it within us, right? So just theoretically speaking, right? Just symbolically speaking, that actually does make a very large difference, right? That's the only type of person that can do that has ever done it. So don't act like, nigga, if you want, you can do it. No, nigga, you can't. And it makes a difference. Why? Because just the association is on a different level, right? So don't play with that, because it's not a game. Your nerves, my nigga, transfer what is called kinetic energy through synapses, yes? Every nerve in your body is connected to every part of your body. Your spine is a command center meeting point of all of your nerves. It's not just the meeting point of your bones. It's all your nerves are there. That's why your spinal cord, if it's severed, nigga, you would be paralyzed. You could not move because your nerves will be disconnected. Yes. So that's just a very delicate balance in itself for the experience of life, right? Now, these nerves are connected to your organs. Now, these organs are moved through chemicals called hormones, which are created by your brain. Now, your brain is controlled by your nervous system. That's why it's at the top of that command fucking meeting center, which not only houses all your nerves, but intertwines and configures the design of how the nerves are fucking spread and supporting all of your bodily functions as well as experiences having to do with sensations, which you can have no sensation without nerves. So everything you go through in your life is communicated through nerve endings. Yes? And rotation of nerve connections. Now, do you not touch other people? Now, do you not touch other people? That's a different type of sensation in itself. It's like no other sensation. Why? Because what's going on with this kinetic energy, right? This conscious force, yes? Magnetism force, electromagnetic is not actually even so electromagnetic only though, right? Like I said, you are now conjuring 0 point energy, which is beyond the spectrum of electromagnetic radiation, which is decay, basically. All electromagnetic energy, all energy within this realm, yes, her being a portal. Yes, we have baby portals in every one of our cells, because each of our cells have the capability, being that they're a power plant in themselves and have a nucleus, yes, to, when configured correctly through activities such as meditation and prayer, right? As well as heartfelt, genuine communication with others. Heartfelt, genuine communication with others. So as to activate and spark dark matter within the center of our cells. Okay, this is beyond electromagnetic. Right now, when she becomes with child, no? All of that is happening simultaneously in every moment that passes throughout the entire cultivation of that person. And so that's just what I mean. Okay? Let alone the actual pain that's connected to all of feeling ever. Yes? Which is why it's really important, right? How delicate, how gentle, right? How nurturing, how careful a person is brought into the world. It's really important. It makes a difference. I mean, you can work it out afterwards, and that's what kind of how sometimes it can be jagged, because it's like, fuck it, this is the day, shit. We did all we could to prepare for it, but it's here now, and we gonna have to rock with it how we rock with it. But then that's why you have doulas, you know what I mean? Like those circles, right, of doors, you know? So as to, you know what I'm saying? Activate them portals, you know what I mean? A little bit more aligned, my nigga. Like aligning of your nerve systems through the chamber shafts, that is your spinal column, through Kundalini energy, which is powered by joy, to unlock all of your chakras, my nigga. That's all nervous energy in itself also. At least that's how you would configure that experience. Or I guess you could say that activation, right? Alignment. You want to align doors, right? Those other mothers, those other daughters, right? And sisters, daughters, mothers, and sisters, to bring whatever life into the world, nigga, in a equally as powerful ceremony. That's the situation. As opposed to them already arriving and components of their locks being obsolete or being stock, basically. Right? The lock, like I said, you're going to build it throughout your childhood into your adulthood, or no? Yeah? You know what I mean? And you got no child with no lock on their door as a girl. You know what I mean? That's later. Right? But throughout her whole young life, she's finding pieces or making pieces or being given pieces. Right? It's either one of the three. She's either given the pieces, she's making them herself, or being taught how to make them. She can even figure out how to make the shit with no instruction and refuse whatever somebody's offering her, i.e. her parents, i.e. her environment and surroundings. Right? Keep it to the side, right? But don't ever attach it to herself. She just say, okay, that's how it's shaped. What is it made of? Okay, it's made of this shit. Okay, what else could I make it of? Let me go learn about locks. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? Who could teach me how about locks, right? And some of them may have those questions. And that's how they end up knowing about how to break down and bust down their locks. But for the most part, they're not asking them questions. Why? Because they wouldn't ever think to. It's no longer as necessary or as important or priority. Why? Because it's dangerous for her to be able to teach whoever other doors how to break down their locks. Without that structured alignment, guys. But without that structured alignment, it's still dangerous for those doors not to know how to bust down locks themselves, guys. Especially without the structured alignment, right? What is you doing? What type of portal activation are you doing? Like I said, going deeper within, this portal is always good because it's real, but you don't know what's going on, right? If it's not a joint thing, right? Decision, basically. And it's hard to line it up because you can think that you're lining it up, but you don't know till you know. And as you're finding out, this portal is still, you know what I'm saying, connected to her, and not only just her being also a portal to all that is, and a closer portal, right? Being that she connects with other portals and in a way to amplify the portals that is, or in the portal that is her. You have the capacity to do the same thing as well, but it happens naturally with her without her controlling it or without her consciously intending to do that. The same thing for us, but it's always on for her, right? Right? And when we're with her, it's neutralized for us, but it's amplified for her as far as those other doors, i.e. portals. Right? Now, then what I'm speaking to you about is how we can get to a point to where it's amplified for us through her also. And then perhaps it can even be amplified through us, for us, as well as in addition and multiplied with the amplification that is her automatically just by your connection and communication, right? And interaction with that portal. Otherwise, it's, you feel me? It's other things going on that you gotta be you feel me? You gotta be associated with to a certain extent. You gotta be able to shift in the favor of the house, basically, man. You feel me? You know? Of the doorway, you know what I mean? Because the doorway gotta stay there for her to have function. You feel me? If you not really concerned about what's going on outside of her, then that doorway may not be there when you return back home tomorrow. She didn't want to go nowhere, but the doorway was demolished. You ain't paying attention. It's not your land. You didn't build that doorway yourself, right? And have her place herself in that doorway, right? And say, hey, look, this is my key, right? I know you're a locksmith and everything, but I want you to use the key. Please, when it comes to me. Because I'm a locksmith too. I bust down my own lock. I don't trying to have you bust down my lock and all those other things. That's not necessary. Here go a key. Okay? In fact, you know what? I'm in my doorway. This is your land. I'm finna snatch this lock off. Right? I mean, it's there for not just me though, it's for also for the other doors here in this structure. Right? So I'm not gonna necessarily snatch it off or fucking and make it sometimes I want my privacy. Right? But as far as like this key and shit, you know what I mean? I don't like keys. They're obsolete, incomplete. Why? Because the truth goes without saying, my darling. And that's something we both appreciate as locksmiths. Right? Love is best communicated and expressed without keys. So that's one thing about this key. But I like the way you turn my key. You know what I mean? That's what drew me to you as a locksmith, as a portal, you feel me? Portaler, whatever the fuck. Real talk though. It's like, if you can get away with not saying I love you to someone, then it's probably better in the long run. But it's not, that's fucking a dream in the world we live in at this point, because these locks are stock. Right? These locks are stock. And most of these doors don't even have their key to begin with. So they don't even have that key to begin with. Right? So they need that key. Right? If you want to enter or exit that door at all. Otherwise, the room is going to be sitting there empty. Right? You can't put nothing up in there. You can't get nothing up out of there. And I'm talking about, unless you just breaking up in there, or you feel me? She didn't know how to break, you know what I mean? How to break her own lock and pop her lock enough, but then she don't know how to pop it back to where she can lock it if you pop it. Because that's the thing about Pop's locks. You can't lock a Pop's lock after you even popped it without the key. So the person popping the lock don't know how to bust down locks to build a new lock or lock the lock back some type of way they even popped it without the key, which really you don't need the key to lock a lock. Right? So you pop it, it's open until you have a key or you change the lock. But if you don't know how to build locks, that means you're back where you started from, with a stock ass lock. At least you have the key, perhaps, once if you have to end up popping it and replace it. Right? Yes, unless you got a master key, but then you gotta trust her with a key when she didn't have a key to begin with, for whatever reason. So if you give her a master key, that means that you giving any old body a master key, potentially. Well, you can always just teach her how to bust down her own lock, but then she's gonna end up even needing a key depending on where she is, as far as where that doorway is located, i.e. where you end up meeting and why you end up meeting her and why you communicating with her at all. Yes? Why is you activating her portal at all? No? Key or not, cuz. You understand? Because as we was just saying, the key is optional, man. A key is optional. It's always optional, but you're always going to have that portal activation. You're always going to be activated in one way or the next in relation to portals. Regardless, so wherever there's portals at, that's having whatever effect. You know? And just like I said, just because you got a key and that's the communication, don't mean you always got to open up a lock or even put your key up in the lock. You got the master key every time you walk down past the door. You feel me? The lock blink. You know what I mean? Because you got the master key, right? You may not even be having your key out to where nobody know, because of course communications got to be expressed one way or the next. But there's nonverbal communication because they can see you got a master key, nigga, without you having to say whatever else, so as to unlock her lock. It's evident anywhere there's doors at. Okay, at least it should be. Okay, at least it should be. Right? But if they ain't built their own lock, a lot of times they be confused as to actually what's going on the outside of their portal, which is actually the inside of their portal. Well, unless it's not. Okay? It's the situation. But you still gotta communicate with them for it to make any sort of difference. difference depending on where it is that you at and for whatever reason you there for. And there's doors there if it don't apply to the reason that you're there. In this day and age, where there's just doors everywhere for whatever reason, and you can find yourself having to be around whatever other doors, even though it ain't really what you there for. Right? And it'd be alright if you was straight, but they've been trying to act like just because you got a master key, it's for them and shit, like. Right? When they doorway is in the middle of a driveway. You understand me? They sit there, nigga, to sabotage you. They even looking twice at the door. Nigga, what you mean? But the door is there, it's in a driveway. Shouldn't come with me, door. You're in a driveway, baby. Yeah, I'm gonna slide you over here. I'm not really trying to take you over here to my premises because that's in a whole nother dimension through layers of other doors. Okay? So I'm gonna just take you where you ain't gotta be in the driveway, boo. Alright? Because you're in the driveway right now. I know you're a door and you need a doorway. You got your doorway. You got your doorway, baby. You got your doorway. But you in a driveway, boo. Okay, so let's move you out of the driveway. You're gonna have to be in another doorway because we can't take the doorway with us. Okay. Now I will bring you to one of my doorways, but my doorways, I gotta get that cleared first, to be honest. I gotta get that cleared, and you already confused because you feel like since I got a master key, it got anything to do with you just because you're the door, ho. It got a lot to do with you because you can't help it and it's all connected anyway. But whoever put you in this motherfucking doorway, in this driveway, nigga, got also something to do with it. You understand? Motherfucker, I'm even here, shit, damn, shit. Hopefully I got as much to do with that as is best. As far as why the fuck I'm even in this area to where your ass is in the driveway, in the doorway. You feel me? That's just how it be happening, you know what I mean? It's just the time we in right now, that's how it go. You know? You gotta watch out sometimes. You be thinking you about to go in the door, nigga, no, you feel me? You stepping into the street and shit. Going through a door. Low key. That's how they be wanting it to happen, you know what I mean? You going through a door, shit, nigga. You on the highway, nigga, without a whip. Fuck is this door leading to a highway? Who designed this? Ha ha. What the fuck is going on out here? Give me my key back. You fucked around and gave her your master key, didn't even have a copy to your shit. Now she got your key, you falling outside of the other side of the door, nigga. She didn't know what to do with a master key. She, feel me, throw the key away and shit. Now the master key gone forever, okay? And she's still in her driveway, in her doorway. But yo, nah, you know, why? Because yeah, the truth go without saying. Just like love go without saying. It goes better without saying, but that's for like the locksmiths, cuz. But yo, nah, you know, why? Because yeah, the truth go without saying. Just like love go without saying. It goes better without saying, but that's for like the locksmiths, cuz. Right? Or at least those who keep up with their keys, cuz. Right? Like I said, most of these doors don't have no key, don't know how to bust down no lock. They ain't trying to learn about locksmiths. Why would they? They're doors. They're not locksmiths. We the locksmiths. But they're also locksmiths though. Right? They have the propensity to also be locksmiths. Meaning what? They can communicate too, man. Can they not? For the most part, they do, but it's different. Right? They feel like they can get away with not saying some shit to you, yo. No, you not getting away with not saying some shit you can say to me. I'm in front of your door right now, yo. Was I always in front of your door? Will I be in front of your door after I'm not in front of your door? That means you say what it is, nigga.
right? You can open your own lock, love. Right? You got a key to your lock just like I got a key to your lock. But why am I using my key? Especially if I got the key from you. That's what I mean. Like I said, some girls ain't got, most of these doors ain't got no keys, or they give their key away and don't think about it again. So you got the key. Why I got a key? Why you just give me a copy to your key? Oh, you want to try to act like, I need to keep up with my keys. I keep up with my keys. In fact, I got a master key. Oh, you don't even know I got a master key because you want to act like you want to play like you got the only key to your lock, or I got the only key to your lock when I got the key from you. Otherwise, you realize that I have a master key, or being that I'm a locksmith, I can just make a key for you, right? But you supposed to realize that, for the most part, nigga, leveling up, locksmiths eventually become master lock makers and can make a master key to any lock, just like they can make your ass a key if you need a key from this nigga. That mean I can make a key for anybody. You know that, but you gonna act like I'm gonna not say that to you, so you can have an excuse not to say what it is you can say to me. That's the thing about locksmiths. It's a code. Oh, fuck is you out here locksmithing for? If you don't understand, if you don't appreciate the fact that, I'm obligated by my oath to locksmithing as a master lock maker, to come up with a way to say what don't need to be said, and a way to allow you to say what I shouldn't have to say, or not, if we're going to say anything, right? Because first of all, you're supposed to be a locksmith too, so what is you giving me a key for? The lock supposed to be closed or open. You feel me? The lock supposed to be open. You feel me? Open. It's supposed to be open, right? That truth, that love's supposed to be open. It's supposed to be universal, accepting, right? Including, right? Just free, unconditional for everybody. That's just the beginning. Now, when you come into your own personal locking of the door, that's for whatever reason you want to lock that portal for you. Right? For the most part, it's open. She open. That's what we were saying, though. Is that not the situation? She can't help but to be open because she's noticed by everyone, women and men, because women get noticed by women and men, because throughout now, these fucking locks are so bootleg, niggas want to look at a nigga like he got a reason to look at a nigga now. Nigga, look, bro, if you like looking at niggas, don't act like you trying to check me, nigga, or you got a reason to examine me. Bro, examine her, my nigga. Use a locksmith. The portals are over there, bro. I'm a locksmith, bro. I got keys like you got keys, fam. You feel me? It'll take but a second to realize that, dog. What the fuck is you looking at? Cause the portals are over there, fam. Right? I realize that I'm probably surrounded by portals, but you're not even looking at the portals, cuz. You fixed on me. Like a woman will be fixed on a woman, but that's a woman, my nigga. Checking out another woman. It's not the same. Just like the communication is not the same. But it is the same. Why? Because communication is communication. Now, what exactly is communication? It should be truth. Otherwise, what are you communicating if it's not the truth? What are you communicating if it's not the truth? Right? And now, the truth goes without saying, but if there's any place for truth outside of it being spoken, which, like as we said, the truth ain't nothing but love when it's not spoken, right? When it comes to truth and communication, if you're communicating anything, it should be the truth. So at any point where there's communication is where the truth now is the key to the truth is now formed. That's the key. That's the form of the key. You know what I mean? Your own personal key, as far as what it is that you're discussing with each other, guys. And for what fucking reason, cuz? Is it so you can fill the air with excuses, nigga, to just use each other? Or are you connecting as people? Are you matching your personalities so as to share life? Like I said, you end up sharing your life with this person. When you see them again, you're going to have truth to build on. If you ever see them again. And by then, nigga, if you don't remember what y'all talked about last time, then you probably shouldn't say nothing else to this person. Okay? Because that's not your portal, cuz. Your portal, you're going to be, as soon as you see her again, it's all going to come back to you. Oh my goodness, it's been so long. How's your bike doing? Remember? You were saying about your bike? I remember that was like, it had to be 70 years ago. Oh, it's so great to see you again. That's a risk to the key, man. Okay? The lock is open though. You turn the door, you turn the portal, go through there, come out with it as much as you like. Unless you making keys first and then trying to act like, you feel me? You need your key and shit. Well, don't come around without your key. If you lose your key, then that's on you. That's your ass. You lost your key. When you're supposed to be a locksmith, first of all. Okay? So if I lost my key, I'm a locksmith. But shit, we got locksmiths out here, nigga, acting like doors in this bitch. Right? So the lock is what? What's the lock? It's that time. It's those results, right? It's the truth between you. Spoken or not, it's the part. You know what I mean? And yeah, so what is the key? The key is the communication. She's the portal. The key is the communication. And the lock in itself is love / truth. It's truth, love. Right? Because see, the thing about a lock is it's holding something in place. Right? So through that communication, which is the key, you either locking the door or you unlocking the door. Now, that's interesting in itself because that goes both ways as well. You can be closing the door so as to protect the door and the doorway as well as what's in front and behind that door. For the most part, within that door. Outside the door, you ain't necessarily protecting it by locking the door. Unless it's also within another room that you also are locking. Right? Or you can be locking her outside herself. Right? Or locking yourself inside herself. Right? Now, you ain't always leaving things inside or what you want to protect inside behind the door. Sometimes you're inside locking the door for whatever reason. From whoever else will be coming through that door in this motherfucker, right? Whether they another door or another locksmith. Yes, but for the most part, it's not going to be a door or a locksmith. It's going to be, like I said, these surrounded other entities, right? You feel me? The very system program that is this matrix sort of situation we find ourselves in, you know, that plays out through other people or whatever the fuck. But like I said, niggas don't be knowing today doors are locked or keys or fucking locksmiths. Niggas use a nigga to be a key in this motherfucker. Use a key. I'm gonna give you to her as her key. Let her use you to open her lock. Okay, when you're supposed to be a locksmith, champ. But use a key today. So that's what I mean. That lock is the reality of regardless of whatever it is that you guys are sharing, right? Because like I said, that lock can be used against you at the same time.
if you don't know what the fuck you're doing. You can lock yourself in and be trapped inside. Why? Because you didn't allow somebody else, for one, to lock the door from the other side without you having a key, for one. She can lock her own fucking door with your ass up in there, nigga. And didn't give you no key. You didn't make sure you even had the key before you went up in there. She can lock your ass the fuck up in there, letting you out whenever she want to. Yes? Or you can, you feel me? Break the key off fucking around while you inside. Don't know how to bust down a lock. Now you trapped in that motherfucking room forever. And unless she know how to bust down a lock. Because even if she got the key, she can't even unlock the lock, nigga, if you done broke your key off in the lock. All extra excited and shit. Frantic and panicking. Scared. You done finally found a fucking door to hide behind and shit. Slam the door. Break your key off in the door. Bruh, relax. You know what I'm saying? Explore the premises, good. First of all, learn how to bust down locks first. Good. Use a locksmith, bro. Use a locksmith, you know what I'm saying? And every locksmith don't know how to bust down, don't have no master key. And what is the use of a master key? You break off some other key in the door. Rushing and shit, doing all type of extra unnecessary shit. Like using keys at all. Right? So that's what I mean, right? That's why it's the truth, as well as love. But it's the love that you share. It's the truth. It's the communication that you have between each other, right? Which is going to be true or not. And the more true it's not, that's the more necessary that key is going to be, right? Especially if you don't know how to do master keys yet. Because every locksmith know how to bust down a lock, you need to bust open a lock. That's if you smart enough. Well, yeah, even if you lock the key or you break the key off in the lock, you can still bust it down. But you're gonna have to know how to build another lock and make keys, right? You don't know how to make keys as a locksmith, but not every locksmith know how to make the master. That is the whole reason why you start as a locksmith, though. And so you're not even done until you get to the master key, bro. So really, you shouldn't be fucking around with no type keys until you know how to make a master key. It's the whole part. Yes, because she got keys. She can give you if it comes to keys, right? And if she ain't got no key, that's why y'all can build another lock. You know how to make keys for whatever lock you make. But you may not have made it to the point to where you got a master key skill yet, which is important because that's something that you gonna be needed to keep in mind as you making whatever lock. Otherwise, you're gonna have to learn how to make master keys with other locks, because that's how you learn how to make a master key, is through making locks. Yes, but if you ain't finished your training, if you ain't went through your whole steps and levels, then that's something that you're not paying attention to in whatever locks you end up making for whatever other reason other than to be learning how to master key making to where you can have a master key. You understand? So, yeah, that lock is reality, right? Why do you need to learn how to make locks? Because there's doors out here, portals. Yes? And they need to be secure. You know? They need something to rely on, you know, to depend on, to look forward to, right? To build on. You feel me? To where it's like whenever it is that you're involved in that portal again, it's more that you're able to store in that space, or get out of the space, or experience within the space, my nigga. You know what I'm talking about? It's like, it's interesting. Like, what would you need to be closed off of from, or protecting inside of, right? Like I said, if you don't have your own land, which that's a whole nother level of locksmithing, right? That's a whole nother level of locksmithing.
what happens to do, which involves communication, because that's what a key is communication, right? So if the lock is truth and love, then that means what? That you are speaking life, if you're speaking at all. And that takes mastery. You know what I mean? And as a master, you're gonna get to a point to where now you're a trainer, you know what I'm saying? You're a teacher yourself. You feel me? You have disciples, right? And so you also have a dojo. You have like you feel me? A center that you've been able to acquire within the years of mastering, right? And that happens that you can't, sometimes you can't even make it to the point where you're even eligible for your own land to then start to build whatever sort of structures that will have whatever doorways. Why? Because of course you just stick to your program, and it takes particular times and sets of times. You miss one window, then it may take a whole nother lifetime before you can even catch that cycle again. Right? When it comes to truth and speaking the truth, when it is to be spoken, communication being key and the lock being love and truth, that means you gotta be out here loving and speaking. So as to have a headquarters as well as a factory sort of, office, even if it's just an office, it really should be a factory, right? If you're a locksmith, where you doing your locksmithing at? Out in the open? In a rented spot that somebody else owned? That's, in this particular example, that's not the completest way, right? We should all have our own land, our own headquarters, so as to be doing our locksmithing on. Yes, on that land, you can have whatever structure. It can involve the locksmithing, where you got these doorways where these doors will be. Right? You ain't necessarily gotta have no door, nigga, or no space to do no locksmithing, as long as you got your land. You don't necessarily need no door. You can have a whole structure without no door, and you can just have a fucking doorway. You ain't even gotta have a doorway. How you gonna get up in it though? If it ain't got no doorway, well, shit, it can have something like an opening, but it ain't necessarily a doorway. It's just the way it stretches. All about your design. But you got your foundation. And what that foundation is nigga, that repeated and certified loving and communicating, cuz it's your land, cuz. Right? It's the way you move. It's the portaling that you're doing. Right? Key or not, lock or not. You understand? Because you only got so much time. You feel me? So it's like, if you gotta say some shit, that's because you chose to have to say some shit. Depending on what it is that you're choosing to deal with when it comes to communication, loving, and reality. Right? You choose someone who has a looser grip on reality or perception of reality. That's a lot more evading and maneuvering around whatever communication that you're gonna have to become acquainted with, and have it be as honest as far as truthful is concerned. Right? It can be real and not necessarily so honest, but it has to be. Don't forget about the element of the love that's involved. Right? Love is a responsibility. You know, you gotta respond to that arrangement, and that's something you can evade and let life also take care of as you're in your emotion through your mastery and discipline towards your craft. Having to do with love, you can't love without people, i.e. portals. But it's all in a degree of which you're involving yourself, right? In the design, you know what I'm saying? Of that communication, which is the keys. You know what I mean? How you design your communication, right? What is your topic? You feel me? What is your content? or what is your context? What is the context of your communication? Right? If it's not reality in its fucking self, then you probably not gonna make it to get in your own land as a master. And that means you're gonna have to work out of somebody else's area, or you're gonna be out in the open, nigga, on the roof somewhere. No matter what, nigga, that's an area is owned by somewhere. It's gonna have an owner, nigga. So you know what I'm saying? Your context, man, gotta be as real as possible, cause as you can muster, bro, cause that's part of the mastery of knowing where you finding yourself and then being able to see exactly what these portals are and where they go, whether you go through them or not. You feel me? Whatever place you at, you done came through a portal to get there, i.e. a door, nigga. So you already at somewhere, nigga, that you gotta figure out where you at, cuz. Do what? Communication, ho. That's the only way to do it. If you're gonna be a locksmith, which that's all there are, locksmiths and doors. Okay? Now you can get by once you get to your master key. But like I said, you have to make that somewhere, bro. Another place, which is gonna have doorways on it for doors. Understand? That's gonna come through your honest accountability, as well as atonement, and owning up for what it is that you saying or not saying, whether you saying it or not, right? Actions speak louder than words. So whatever it is you're doing, my nigga, it's gonna take you places, my nigga. Now the next thing you do is gonna determine where you end up in order to take it to wherever else you take it from there. And the whole time you should be able to be open to and free to at least have some sort of discussion, man. And hopefully not with too many other fucking locksmiths, man.